Everybody, it's Cindy the Scrapologist here. I'm doing something just a little different today. I am cleaning up, sorry for the glare. I'm cleaning up, well, if you saw my um, tour of my craft room, you saw my workstation. And on the sides is where I keep my cardstock, but I also have this huge stack of scrapbook layouts that I did and that I never got into albums or anything. I stopped scrapbooking, gosh, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago when I got my book press and really started making journals and handmade books. These just take up a lot of room, and I have an entire shelf full of 12 by 12 scrapbook albums, and they just take up a lot of room, and I started moving down to the journals, which take up less space. But I want to do something with these. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I thought it might be fun to show you some of the scrapbook layouts that I've done over the years. We'll go through them together. I haven't looked through these for at least 5 years. I don't remember what's in here. But I want to start with a disclaimer that I don't know which one of these are my own design. Some of them, well, I know this one. I know the Graphic 45 ones were from a gal named Janice that worked at a scrapbook store in Arizona. And I would take classes whenever she did a class because her layouts were phenomenal. We were always trying to get her to be a Graphic 45 ambassador. So I know which layouts are hers, but as far as the other ones, I don't know if I got them on Pinterest, if I thought of them myself. So let's just say these are all somebody else's idea. We'll just then I'll be on the safe side, right? So I apologize if you happen to be watching and you see one of your layouts, let me know. So this one isn't finished, but this is my great grandmother and my great grandfather. They're so dapper, and I started a layout. And the the uncanny thing is, I look exactly like her, exactly, except she was 4 foot something, and I'm a little taller. So it's kind of weird to look at an ancient ancestor that looks just like you. But so I started this layout and never finished it. So I'm going to put that over to the side. I found 3 or 4 other ones that I had started and never finished. And I want to at least finish these up. So I'm going to put that in the unfinished pile. But this is one of Janice's. And by the way, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to flip through them really quickly. I'm not going to go through every element. That would bore you to tears. And if it's something that you want to replicate, then you can always pause the video and look at it more closely. Put it in full screen mode down in the bottom right hand corner right here. Click the bell while you're down there too, so you don't miss any videos. But I'm just going to flip. Okay, I was having some camera difficulties, so let's get on with the show here. So this is a gorgeous layout by Janice at the name of the store was Paper Metal Scrappers in Arizona, and they're no longer there, unfortunately. But this is Once Upon a Time paper line, which I think you can still get. Not sure about that, but the thing I loved about Janice as well, so much I loved so much about her layouts, but she popped up a lot of things. There's a ton of pop dots on here. We put some grommets in here and then sewed through them. Just did like a crisscross stitch in the back. And look at the photo mat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. These 3 layers are popped up. There's 2 pockets here, and she gave us a CD to put in there. And the way the little fairy has these ropes going over to the birds, just details like that her layouts were outstanding. I always took a class whenever she was teaching. This might be another one of hers. think it is. I have no idea what this paper line is, but I love it. A lot of detail and different elements. Some really fun sewing to make the butterflies path. And everything is popped up. So many things are popped up. Love this layout. What have we got here? And this is just a little simple layout. I think this is basic gray paper back when they were making scrapbook papers. Not real thrilled about this one. I don't know what I'll do with that. Here's a fun one. Doing things in blocks was really popular at one point, and then there's a strip of words up here, and then there's a roughly sewn piece of thread bordering the whole thing, which is real fun. These are all upside down. That's kind of a simple spring-like one. Looks like I used stickers. You know what? I think this whole pile is upside down. There we go. Let me go this way. Looks like I didn't finish this one. I'll have to put this in the to be done pile. So it's woven paper. I don't know what this was for. Maybe I was gonna put something else on here, but it's just woven. There's several strips going across and then strips going down. I put this in the to be finished pile. That was just a trip we took. To be finished. I get all this stuff out of the way. Here's some music stuff. Really nice review. They actually mentioned the music director for a change, which was stunning that he did that. Okay, here we go. I remember when this paper line came out. I really liked it. It was a fall kind of paper. This is nice because it has many different elements, geometrical patterns, triangles, ovals, rectangles, etc. Squares turned on their sides to make diamonds. I think this was a Webster's Pages paper line, which I really liked. I loved Webster's Pages paper, and I wish that they still sold it. They just moved to just doing planners, which I don't know. It's very disappointing. There's just a flower I made with a button in the middle. Some of these should have another piece to them, but this is a band that's woven across the bottom, and it's going through some die cuts. That's a neat technique for a journal. This one's finished. An actual hike we went on. Oh, my beautiful, beautiful niece. Isn't she pretty? She's so pretty. Well, I guess I have some that are finished here. This is a trip we took to Jerome, Arizona with my niece and nephew. More hiking stuff. Let's see. Let me get rid of all the stuff that's done. I guess I have a bunch that needs to go in an album. This was the Mamarazzi paper line. And there's another trip we took to an old abandoned mine in Arizona, and this was the hanging tree where they actually did hang people if they tried to steal the gold. This is Tim Holtz paper, definitely. Big rip in this one. More Mamarazzi paper. I liked this paper line. They did a Mamarazzi 1 and 2. Oops, I guess it goes this way. So I must have pulled this off of Pinterest, and I was planning on making this. Pinterest or, I don't know, some website. Put that in the to be completed pile. It's just a mishmash of, this is all fussy cutting. Did a lot of, we were doing a ton of hiking back then. Hiking and camping, so I have a lot of camping type layouts. Some of these are kind of outdated. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just, my head's in a different place now. This I made because we took an awesome trip down. We did the whole length of Route 66, which I had always wanted to do, from Arizona to the end. And it was a ton of fun. I took so many pictures. It's just such a photographer's dream in terms of black and white and old abandoned things, and I just guess I didn't use this one particular page. Wonder why this one's wonky, if I meant it to be that way. That's a super simple layout. This is on chipboard that had a design on it, and then we were playing with glimmer mists when they first came out, I think. I think this was a class I took. It's all glimmer misted. Don't know what I'll ever do with this. Oops, this is the second half of something. I don't know what. Thought I saw that. This is an ugly one. I guess I was planning on putting some pictures on here of my husband fishing. I don't like this anymore. Yuck. That goes in the icky pile. This one's kind of ugly too. Ick. Ick. This one's ugly. Isn't it funny to look back on your stuff? I love the row of buttons up here, but all this stuff is so busy. My goodness. What was I thinking? This one. This is another basic gray paper line. Oh, this is a twofer. Let's see, how does it go? I don't know. Maybe this way? Sorry, I'm probably making you dizzy. Some of these paper lines I just don't even recognize at all. This is totally ugly. What is this arrow thing? I like the way I stamped. Oh, look, it's even better. It has a partner. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. I kind of like this page. But I like the way there's stamping on here, and then the stamping continued throughout. I guess this one could grow on me. I just don't like this arrow thing anymore, but maybe once you put photos there. Who knows? It's funny how our tastes change. This is another basic gray one. I remember this one was fashioned after men's boxers. I think it was called boxers. And it was different patterns that you would see on men's boxer shorts. Well, this is a super simple one. I always liked making two layouts at once so that when you open it up it's cohesive. You can have a nice spread. So I generally did make 2 pages every time I did a spread. This I had to take this out because do any of you guys have a cat that loves to chew on plastic and paper? I cannot let my cats in my studio. Only the dog is allowed in here. She's hypoallergenic, so there's no hair and there's no chewing on my stuff. So this probably has a mate somewhere. Oh, I see. I guess I had these in an album at one point. That goes like that, and then this goes like that. I like the way I think this was a class that I took where we made a whole album actually. And I like the way the circle is cut in half here. But this one, eh. I think this technique here was called color blocking, if I'm not mistaken, where you just take blocks and put them all over your page. This is not that bad looking. Once there are photos on here, it will look good. I don't know. These are chipboard letters. I still have a ton of these left over. Oh, this is our trip to the copper mine in Jerome where the hanging tree was. That needs to go in that pile. Oops, I guess this isn't done. This is another one I did with Webster's Pages. A lot of fussy cutting. It's a little too busy for me now. Oh, I think it goes like this. And probably the photograph went up here. Oh, here's one that I must have pulled off the internet. I like it. I still like it. It's very simple. So I started that one. And I pulled this one off of somebody's blog, looks like. It doesn't really speak to me anymore. Another basic gray, I believe this was. I think I took a class where we did a whole album out of basic gray. There's another one I captured moments blog. It's kind of pretty. We took a punch and punched out holes along the bottom and then wove a piece of scrapbook paper underneath there. I like that. Nice and simple. I think that's sort of what I'm into these days, in addition to vintage, antique, old stuff. This one I must have pulled off of the Webster's Pages blog, probably. It's supposed to look like this. So I'll put that over in the to be finished pile. And this one I got off of Sarah Milne. I don't even know if that's, I mean, this is 2010, so I don't even know. Wow. Don't even know if that's a thing anymore, but yeah, so I have to figure out what to do with all this stuff. A lot of them are just not my style, but you know, I might 10 years from now like them again. Who knows? I'm kind of like that. I go through phases. For a while I like color, for a while I don't. So I have to figure out what to do with this pile, but I think for now they're going to go in my closet and get out of my workspace. So Yeah, so I hope that if you're a scrapbooker, maybe you got some cool ideas from here, things to do, things not to do. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.